How you doing, family? Welcome to Bantu Tesla. This is another follow-up on the special recognition of Tony Seba and for his phenomenal contribution to an analysis, to my ability to pick stocks based on all of the vital analysis that he contributed back in 2016. Okay, he's been following up on that since then, but primarily that analysis has proved to be absolutely pivotal. And what I want to talk to you about in this video, or what the points I want to make to you or share with you in this video, is the fact that Tony Seba has actually been the man behind the analyst behind a lot of other people that I've been listening to for at least the last year and a half, 2 years. And even though I read Tony Seba's book, I didn't connect the dot. I didn't make the connection. I didn't see that what I had learned 5 years ago, because so much time had gone by, that I just overlooked it. And he was so far ahead, his predictions in his analysis, that I just missed it. Okay, and it's amazing. And what I've always said is, I have an ability to go back to things, and things that I looked at years and years ago, they come around 3 to 5 years. Now, it used to be 3 years. I'm looking at things 3 years before they come into fruition. Now with Tony Seba, he is proof positive that now I am actually researching things that become irrelevant 5 years later. Okay, and this is just one example. Nothing is absolute. Nothing is absolute. But this is a major indication that that I've got something going on here. Okay. One of the things I want to bring to your attention as it relates to Tony Seba is today I'm going to review a video from one of my other analysts, Stephen Mark Ryan, who has his own YouTube channel called Solving the Money Problem. Okay, and I want to show you this list of analysts that I have. Okay, and so I want you to look at this list, and I want you to see this cadre of analysts that I have here. Now, all of these analysts, the one I want you to focus on is Tasha Heaney, and of course Stephen Mark Ryan. And today I mentioned them in the last movie, but today I'm gonna bring in this father and son analyst team that I watch. They have their own YouTube channel called Now You Know. Okay, and Zach and Jesse, they're the father and son team. Zach is the father, Jesse is the son, and Zach is really he's the investor. He's the brains of the op. Of course, he's the father, and he's been investing in Tesla and FUV. You know, the stocks that I have here, over here on my right shoulder here. He's the one that, well, he's not really the one. I was already in FUV, so he didn't get me into it, but it just so happens great minds think alike. He's also invested in FUV. He's also invested in Tesla big time. Okay, but he's not doing Planet 13. He's not doing TLGRF. He's not doing CBDS. Okay, he may be, but I never hear him talking about it. Okay, he basically focuses on energy and electrification. Okay, or I should say energy and EVs. That's his primary thing. But their father, Zach and Jesse, they basically focus on anything that is related to green tech. That's the category that he covers, and that could cover anything that is about the electrification and clean energy production and clean energy usage. Okay, What I wanted to point out to you about these three analysts is Tasha Heaney works for ARK Invest, okay? Zach and Jesse have their own YouTube channel called Now You Know. Stephen Mark Ryan has his own YouTube channel called Solving the Money Problem. Stephen Mark Ryan is one of my primary analysts. I go to him, and I go to also give an honorary mention to Rob Maurer. Rob Maurer is really one of my top. You know, I have these three are my top in order. Stephen Mark Ryan is number one. Okay. Rob Maurer is number two. The father and son team, Jesse and Zach and Jesse from Now You Know, they're my number three guys. These are the three top guys, okay? And Rob Maurer has his own YouTube channel called Tesla Daily, and he primarily focuses on Tesla. Okay, Stephen Mark Ryan primarily focuses on Tesla. The father and son team of Zach and Jesse, they focus on anything green tech and environmental green movement. They're laser focused on anything related to that. Okay, but the point I'm trying to make here is I suspect that in the background of every single one of them, they haven't mentioned it. The only person that mentioned it, and he did it today, is Stephen Mark Ryan. He mentioned Tony, and he called him Seba, and I know he meant Tony Seba. Okay, and it's just incredible. This is something that I read. I read 5 years ago, like I said. Okay, now the point I'm trying to make here is I'm going to keep drilling this home, Isaiah, because you got to remember, folks, bear with me. I'm talking to my grandson Isaiah. I'm talking to my godson Sangoma, and my other son Sangtubia, his brother, and my son Joshua. These are the key kids that I'm talking to, as well as Imani and Shantae. Okay, these are the kids that talk to me on a regular basis. And of course, my son Robert, he's somewhere in the background, but we don't talk that much. But these are the pivotal 5 or 6 kids that I'm really focusing on. So when you guys hear me, you know, talk on the level that I'm talking, bear with me. I'm not really talking to you, but this information is so pivotal and so mind-boggling that I have to slow it down so that my kids can get it. Okay? So that's, you're going to hear me repeating a lot. You're going to hear me articulating a lot of vocabulary. And that's what this channel is about. This is a family channel. I'm talking to my family. And I'm talking to the youngest of the young. And my grandson is 16 years old. So that's about as far low as I can go. And hope to be able to speak to him, and I know my grandson's really pretty sharp, you know, so I know he's going to get this. Okay, so I want to be able to connect for you, Zaya, for my grandson, that you have to learn what I'm going to try to give you, what I, you know, my abilities, and explain to you the sequence of my thinking and how I am able to discover the information and the data that I use to make my choices on what stock to choose. And it is a hodgepodge of data and information and analysis that I get from these analysts. Okay, and the reason why I do that is because I don't have time to research all of this stuff. Each one of these analysts has a different focus and their career paths. Some of them are independently wealthy. The father and son team, I don't know whether they, as far as I know, the son has a day job. The father is an investor from way back when. He may be retired for all I know. Stephen Mark Ryan, I know, is independently wealthy. He built, and I want my grandson to learn and follow Stephen Ryan, because Stephen Ryan did it the hard way. He's a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant strategist, an economic strategist. In terms of wealth building, if I had to pick somebody that I really wanted to, other than myself, I want my grandson to model after myself, because I'm very, very entrepreneurial minded. Okay, and I would rather have my grandson do what my godson and his brother Sangtubi are doing. They have never worked for anybody. They, from right out of school, they started their own business. And they're doing video production and movie making and the whole nine. So they've been self-employed and entrepreneurs and running their own business from high school and college. Okay, and ultimately for African Americans, especially people of color who have been in prison, this is the path for you. You have to start your own business. Because nobody, not that nobody will hire you, but you don't have to kiss anybody's behind. You can come out, take my stock investment techniques, put together some money, build your stock portfolio, which is, again, gives you independence. You become independently wealthy. Once you develop your own wealth, you don't have to kiss anybody's behind. Okay, you don't have to deal with any of this nonsense. So learn the things I'm teaching you here about finding stocks and things that you can invest in. Put together $10,000 or $15,000, however you may do that. But you can then go legit by investing that money in a legitimate portfolio, okay, of your own, and watch it grow. I'm going to give you the stocks. I'm going to show you the people to go to pick the stocks. Okay, I got other analysts on my analyst list that I'm going to have up here for you, and you can go to these YouTube channels. And another point I want to make here, as I said in the last movie, what I want to talk to you about in this movie is I want you to really fixate on this and understand the importance of knowing. And I want to motivate you by explaining to you that you don't have to think that. I want you to understand that you can do whatever you want. What you have to do is pick your guides. Pick the people that you're going to choose to listen to, and you're going to follow their lead. Okay? And the thing I want you to look for as a trademark is the fact that they're not trying to ask you for any money. The ones that are giving you stuff for free, 9 out of 10 times, are the most sincere people. People that are trying to get money from you, try to avoid that. Look for the people like me, like YouTube right now. Well, this is the way it's starting out. Okay, this is where it is in 2020. Between 2000 and I can speak for 2018 to 2020. All the YouTubers and people I've been watching for the last 2 years, they don't ask for any money. Okay, if you want to get deeper into some of their businesses and their ventures that they're getting involved with, like my analyst is Jeremy, and I don't know his last name, but Jeremy from the Financial Education YouTube channel. He has 2 or 3 of them. He's a multimillionaire. Stephen Mark Ryan is a multimillionaire. I don't doubt that Zach and Jesse, Zach is a multimillionaire, because if he invested in Tesla, he said he invested in Tesla when it was like $50 a share, first round, before it split. So he's got thousands of shares of this stuff. He's got to be a multimillionaire. No doubt about it. Okay? So when you deal with people like that, who put together a YouTube channel and they're giving you all this valuable information for free at no cost, okay? You have to value that. And I know it's very difficult for you to believe that someone can give you data that can make you a millionaire. But that is very true. You just have to develop the eyes and the ears, the eyes to see it and the ears to hear it. Okay, and that's what I'm trying to teach you, how to look at situations and see an opportunity coming and invest in that opportunity and ride it all the way up to where Tesla is now. And Tesla's ride has just started. So for any of you who think you've missed it, oh, you have no idea. And I'm going to explain that to you today. And the way I'm going to show you, the way I know you're going to get this, Zaya, is I'm going to show you somebody. His name is Jim Chanos. This guy has been in the financial investment business for over 30 years. This guy is supposed to be the guru of guru, the oldest of the analysts, who's supposed to know everything there is to know about stocks and companies and how, whether they're going to be successful or failures. I'm also going to bring in Goldman Sachs, who as of yesterday, close of market yesterday, they just upgraded Tesla stock to a buy from a hold. Now that means they're recommending that everybody buy this stock instead of, if you already have bought the stock, to hold it as opposed to selling it. Because they can tell you to sell the stock, they can tell you to hold the stock and keep it if you already own it. And if you don't own it, they can recommend that you buy the stock. Goldman Sachs is one of the largest number one investment firms in the world right now. Okay? Investment firms. Not hedge fund. Hedge funds are totally different. Investment company in the world, Goldman Sachs. Okay, they have a pretty ugly history too, but they're still on top. They're still on. So when they make a recommendation for a stock to be bought, that's a big deal. And when they wrote, what they did was they also rose their predicted stock price for Tesla. They moved it from $425 to $780. They almost doubled it in one move. I'm telling you that so you will understand Tesla's just getting started. And Goldman Sachs is just getting on to them. And this all turned around in the matter of 1 year. And in actuality, 6 months, to show you how fast Tesla is devastating. I mean, and ripping the hair off of some of the largest corporations in the world. Tesla was just inducted into the S&P. 1 year ago, Tesla's market cap, that means the total amount of shares that people owned of Tesla stock, was $75 billion. That's how much dollars in stock that people were holding. Okay? In 1 year, Tesla moved, and that $75 billion market cap, they call it. Market capacity. That word cap means capacity. That $75 million market cap was respectable, but Tesla, although it had that many people invested in it, it still wasn't a profitable company. In other words, with all the money that people had invested, because Tesla was building so many factories and building cars and actually producing cars, that the cost of the production of the cars, because they were a new company, they were trying to figure out how to do it as efficiently as possible. They weren't that efficient. They got better later on. But you got to remember, they've been producing cars since, I believe, 2014. That's when they came out with the Model S, but I think they did a couple of cars before that, and in 2012 is when they started. But they were not on, you could not buy the stock until 2014. So they produced some smaller cars between 2012 and 2014, if I remember correctly. I read his book, and I'm going off the top of my head. Okay, and I'll put the actual dates up here when I post it for you guys on this right or the left here. Okay, but when Tesla first came out, that was, what they were able to work their way up to as of last year, 2019. Okay, they worked their way up to $75 billion in stock sales, cash raised, but bottom line, sales of stocks on the stock market, in the stock market. So from that point on, as of today, Tesla has moved from 75 billion to over $500 billion in 1 year. Okay, and I'm telling you to hold that stock for 5 to 10 years. So if Tesla and from the last year, 2019 to now, that stock, when I bought it, was less than $200 a share. That stock has gone up 3,000%. Well, no, that's not true. That particular stock didn't go up that much, but all the stocks in my portfolio went up 3,000% gain from last year. Now, Tesla itself, I would say it has more than 10x. Let's see, $200. If it goes to $400, that's 100%. Tesla has gone to over $2,500 a share. Okay, since I bought it. So let's do the math. 200 to 400, that's 100% gain in my portfolio on that particular one stock. So if it goes to $600, then it's $200, 200% gain that I've gained with my stock. So you can calculate that on up. So when you get to 5 times, you're talking 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. You're talking 1,000% gain on one stock. And since it went to $2,000, then we got to say that's, let's see, that's 2,000% gain. Oh, and since it went to 500 on top of that, that's 2 more hundreds. So that means it's 2,200% gain on that one stock. Oh, and that's right, it went up another. It just hit, that's right, today it hit 600. Oh, so now I got to add another, it's not quite double, that's 50%. So that stock has gone up 2,000 and minimum a little over 2,000%. It's somewhere in between there. When you get that high, what the hell? Very few people can put money on stocks. I've been doing this for 20 years and see a gain like that in 1 year, folks. Most people don't see a growth in their portfolio to 500% in 10, 15 years. Most people forget about 1,000. Forget about that. Very few people put money in the stock market and gain 1,000% on their investment, much less 2,200%, close to 200% in 1 year. Most people can't do that in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 2,000%. I'm up to 3,000%, folks. This ain't a joke. This is not a mistake. And I'm not doing this because I hope and I'm thinking I might. No. I'm doing this because of what I know. Okay? Elon Musk, what he's doing is so mind-boggling. This moron that I'm going to show you now, this Steve Chanos, or whatever his name is, this guy's been betting that Tesla's going to fail for the past 6 years. And the moron is still betting that Tesla's going to fail after 6 years. Now, I'm going to segue off here, and I want, because you see, everything happens in context. Isaiah, nothing is in a vacuum. Everything is because of something else to the right, to the left, and the environment, or the country, or the city, or the community where you're living. That's how things are happening. Things are happening in relationship to other things. Politics, okay, and what they call macro environment. Things are happening in the political environment. Things are happening in the social environment, okay. Things that are happening in the weather environment. All of these things are macro, and they can impact stock and they can impact you, okay. So in this case, what you're looking at is mass hysteria based out of an antiquated system that is the overall name of the system is called white supremacy. That's what you were born into. You were born into a system where white old men who founded the country have been perpetuating a lie that, and they created this. They started with a religion, which I'm not gonna get into that. But this is where the drinking of the Kool-Aid starts. Okay, drinking of the blood of some fictitious being person that doesn't exist. But the concept is you hypnotize a society, you get them in the habit of doing something because everybody else is doing it. Okay, that everybody else concept, that's what this guy Jim Chanos is still under the deluded, demented mentality that he is still superior because his skin is white and he's a male. And the system was designed to handicap everything to work in his favor. And he still thinks that system exists. He don't know that system died. That system died when Obama became president. When Bill Clinton became president, that system really died. Bill Clinton and Al Gore brought in the internet. And that brought information to any and everybody equally. And as I've been telling my young people, knowledge is power. Okay? Knowledge is power. And if you learn how to take data and information, you can, and learn how to look at it critically and connect the dots, and you can see a path where you can use that data to take your money and invest in a particular stock and look at a situation. Listen to Stephen Mark Ryan. You listen to Jeremy from the Education Channel. You read a book, first of all, before you even find out about them guys. A guy named Tony Seba. And Tony Seba tells you 5 years ago that energy storage, electric vehicles, self-driving cars, and solar panels are going to be ubiquitous by 2030. And then he shows you the graph, and he shows you that says when he predicts it's going to happen. Then he goes back and he shows you examples of when the first automobile was born, was created and mass produced so that everybody could get one, well, at least the wealthiest. That's the way it works. When something first comes out, the wealthiest of the wealthy can get it first. Okay, that's just the way it goes. So he shows you how when the automobile first came in, that how there were all horses and one car. Then he shows you a picture 13 years later. So he's trying to show you how innovative, disruptive products come onto the market and how they shatter these old ways of doing things. So then he shows you 13 years later where everything is cars, when people were saying, oh no, nothing will ever replace the horse and the buggy. Nothing will ever. That's Jim Chanos. He said, oh, Tesla will never, and he keeps saying Tesla is just an automaker. It'll never be anything. Well, that's the same white supremacist, male, demented mentality who have convinced themselves that they actually are better than somebody else solely because their skin is white. And because everybody else is buying into the hypnosis That's how you know it's called a cult mentality, because everybody else is supporting this lie. Okay? And we know where that lie started. I'm not going to get into that here. But the word is religions. That's where the first lie has been started. And it's a multi-level lie. So again, what that does is it trains everybody else to follow the lie. So they call it the herd mentality. You follow the rest of the herd because that's where they're going, and they must be going because that's where the food is, or that's where the water is, or that's where the whatever it is, the shelter or the warmth or whatever. Because the herd is going there. You don't know where they're going. You're just following along. Well, that's what Jim Chanos is doing. He's been, and you can't blame him because he's one of these white men. And he has a privileged position. Everything is given to him on a platter. He never has to work for anything. You got to work. Okay, they expect you to work, but I'm going to train you so you don't have to work either. You're going to use your brain instead of your back. That's what I want you to do. And that's what I learned to do. I had to use my back a little bit to get the money, but all along my brain was going. Okay, so what happened here is Tony Seba is the man. That's why he is featured here. Because all of these other younger analysts now are all following Tony Seba. And I didn't figure it out until I watched Stephen Mark Ryan's YouTube video. But I figured it out actually when I did the last video for you. So Stephen just validated it even further today. I never heard him use the name Tony Seba, but so now I know that confirms for me that he's following the same guy. He learned from the same guy I learned from. But just that he found out about Tesla 2 years ago and started buying like crazy, but he had money because he already had built a real estate business of his own. So he had money, and the going saying we used to say 15 years ago, people who have money can make money. People who have money, your money can make money for you, and I'm going to teach you that. Well, I just already showed you that because I showed you my portfolio. So the little bit of money that I was able to scrape together, because of the knowledge I had, and I was able to apply that knowledge and the analysis to an investment in some stocks that allowed my money to make money for me. And the concept I want you to understand, family, is that capitalism in and of itself is not necessarily a bad thing. Vulture capitalism is bad. Capitalism where you are willing to murder people, contaminate the water, pollute the soil, just fill the air with all kinds of pollutants and think you're going to go out to an island somewhere in the Philippines and live like a king and leave the rest of the world to die. That's vulture capitalism. And it's stupid, short-sighted, and eventually nowhere will be safe in an environment like that because it spreads. Oh, it's like a cancer. You don't pollute the environment and it's just going to stay in one spot. Don't work that way. Okay? That's greedy, short-sighted mentality, and that's what these Confederates and the GOP, these are greedy, vulture capitalists. That's their party. It's called the Grand Old Party, GOP. Republicans is the new name, the name they try to cover themselves up underneath the title of Republican, which used to be the party of Lincoln, which is another lie, as he's supposed to be somebody that was supposed to try to free some enslaved Africans. No, he didn't give a damn about enslaved Africans. And the poor Africans had been enslaved for so long. When they got out of slavery, they went and jumped in that party thinking he did something for them. But they were not allowed to read for 300 years. So, of course, they would do stupid things. But that was the best they could do at the time. Nothing wrong with that. You do the best you can do at the time. It's not your fault because you were made ignorant. Ignorance happened to them. They happened to be ignorant after 300 years of being trained not to read. And if they were trained that if they read anything, they would be murdered. They could be murdered willy-nilly and nobody would ever be held accountable for it. Black people could be murdered at will. And 300 years that happened. Hell, look at these crazy Trumpies. They can't take 6 months of having to wear a mask. So imagine you put them under 300 years of murder if they just get caught reading a book. They would have been dead a long time ago. But that's why I tell you, be proud of your ancestors who survived 300 years of brutal, chattel, unbridled, unforgivable murder. And we're gonna make them pay for that. Okay, I digress. So Tony Seba laid this roadmap out so that all you have to do now is find the companies or a company that is maxing out all of these four things on this list, and that company is Tesla. Okay, then you have Stephen Mark Ryan in this situation here. He's let me just bring this up. I want you to see this. Okay, let's get this going. Okay, so here we have Stephen Mark Ryan, and he produced a YouTube video that where he's going to have Steve Chanos, which is he's a short seller. Short seller is a person who makes option. They said you can buy an option that where you're saying that you are betting that the company will collapse and go out of business and the stock price will drop. And as long as you hold that option, when the price drops, you double your money, you triple your money, you quadruple your money. Okay? It's a gamble, and it's a total gamble. And he's not even based, he's the worst kind of investor in the world, and he's just blinded by his white supremacy and his privilege and entitled, his belief that he's entitled and privileged in everything he says is going to be. And so what I was trying to point out to you is that just because somebody is been around a long time, just because somebody is a part of this massive corporation, that don't mean that they're going to be right. It don't even mean that they know what the hell they're talking about. And what happens is you have to understand the nature of evolution. You may be right today, but if you don't remain flexible and open yourself up to change and go with the change and evolve with the change, then you will become like Jim Chanos. And this poor fool he's just grown over the years to become a moron. And he thinks that he knows everything. And he thinks like Trump. If he keeps repeating a lie enough, they're under the assumption. There used to be a saying, if you repeat a lie enough, people will believe it. And that was the old tactic. And it's very old. And people are wise to it. And it don't work. But he's still stuck in a time warp. That's why I call them troglodytes. They're stuck in a time when there were dinosaurs and stuff. And they still think that if you just keep repeating a lie in the face of overwhelming evidence that is not true. And these people, they become mentally ill. And that's what I said about white supremacy. White supremacy is a mental illness at this point because nobody believes it. But the people who think they're entitled to get some special privileges because their skin happens to be white. So they're buying and they're drinking the Kool-Aid and they're buying into the lie. But see, when you're in the habit of buying into a lie, you will continue to buy into lies because you're used to it. Again, that's what everybody else is doing. Okay? So I want you to learn how to look at a new situation, look at what's coming, and take that information and use it to free yourself so you don't have to follow what everybody else is doing. I want you to cut your own path, and I want you to be completely and totally free. And that freedom starts with financial freedom. Because once you got money, that's the one thing. Money is like blood in the human body. Without a blood flow or a bloodstream, the body dies. Money is the lifeblood of almost the entire world. It runs on economics, and economics, the blood is money. Okay, economics is the bloodstream in the system, and it flows through the arteries of markets and sales. The arteries of market and sales are all over the world. They call it trade. Okay? And trade is ran by markets. And markets are propelled and filled with the blood of called money or currency. Okay? And in this case, it may be gold. It could be a commodity. It could be currency like cash, dollars, yens, whatever the currency is of that particular country. They convert as they come into different countries. Okay, but it's currency. And the currency is blood. It's like the blood in your body. Without that blood, your body dies and you have to move on to another body. As simple as that. Okay? So you got to build a financial base for yourself. How do you do that? You take data, information, knowledge, wisdom, not hope, not faith, science. You know, based on what this man has proven he can do, and that's called execution. If you get a company that has a leader, and the leader tells you he's going to this, he's going to do this, he's going to going to do that by a time certain, and then when that time comes, he may be a little bit early, he may be a little bit late, but he does what he said he's going to do. And then he tells you he's going to do something else, and when that time comes, and he does what he said he's going to do. That's called execution. Those are the kind of leaders you want to invest your money in. Because when they say they're going to do something, not only do they do it, sometimes they do it early and they do it better than they said they were going to do it. And that kind of leader is exceptionally rare. And whenever your leadership is an exception, then the wealth and the value in the company that leader runs becomes exceptional. And when the value becomes exceptional, the stock becomes exceptional. And that's what you're looking at with Tesla. It is an exceptional stock ran by an exceptional genius. This man has a photographic memory. Okay? And he has always been a genius, what they call a savant. This man is so brilliant. He is hands down the smartest man on the planet. And the good thing about him, he's got a good heart. And this is what's so rare about Elon Musk. Now, anything could change, but in the 10 years since I left, 13 years since I left Verizon, I've been following Elon Musk. Okay? And I have never seen him flicker or waver when it comes to his humanity, his decency, and his smarts, his intelligence. He's never wavered on any of those three. Okay? And after 13 years, I tend to believe the man. I believe what he says. Because he's shown me over 13 years that he says what he means, and he means what he says. Okay? And he demands that same level of conviction out of the people that work with him. And if you're not dedicated like he is, he doesn't want you around him. I mean, the man is a multi-millionaire. And he says that when he went to Germany to accept this award from a company, he told them, he said, they asked him, where are you going to be staying? He said, I'm going to sleep in the factory. He said, the factory that's being built? The guy who's the CEO of the award company. He said, yeah. Why? What's wrong with that? He said, I like to do that because I get a feel for what's going on in the factory. See what I'm saying? That's not normal. That's not normal. And he means that. He's not jiving. He means exactly what he says. And I want you to understand that. Don't get caught up in the materialism of this world. And don't get caught up in what I'm telling you about this money and all this stuff. Don't get caught up in it. I'm not caught up in it. I just want to have a nice little nest egg where we can be comfortable so we can spend time together. That's all I really care about is time. And what kind of time do I care about? Quality time. See? And you can't get quality time with your family and you always scrambling trying to survive. If you're struggling and you're trying to survive, you're working too hard and you're not working smart enough. And you got to stop working so hard and you got to start working smarter. Okay, even if you run your own business, that's going to be hard work. Believe me, Tesla, what Elon Musk is doing is hard work. He's doing it the hard way. Okay, he's not doing like what I'm telling you to do. Get in the stock market. I'm telling you get in the stock market so you can get your capital and your cash together. So once you do that, what I'm trying to teach you here is how to take that money and make passive income for yourself. Let your money start making money for you. And the way you're going to do that is you got to find stocks. How do you do that? You listen to people like Jeremy in the education channel. You listen to people like Stephen Mark Ryan from Solving the Money Problem. You listen to Zach and Jesse from Now You Know. Okay, you listen to my YouTube channel, your grandfather, okay, Josh, your father, Sangoma, your father, Santubia, your father. I'm just another one of your fathers, okay, your big brother, how it doesn't matter, okay, but you listen to me because you've known me for over 30 some odd years. All of you are like Joshua, Sangoma, Santubia, you guys are 30 years old. You've known me for 30 years and have not changed, been the same way all along. Okay, so after a while you have to develop a level of trust. Okay, and again, this is a private YouTube video for my private family members only. Anybody who was in here and you're not a family member and you use my advice, you got to understand this is, you just happen to be here. But this advice is for my family members. Okay, and even the family members, I'm telling you, do your homework. I'm not allowed to advise you because I don't have the certificates from Whitey. To be certified to be able to tell you or suggest to you what stocks to buy. So I'm not really telling you what stocks to buy. Okay, disclaimer. I'm telling you what I'm doing. Okay, and this is the legacy I'm going to be leaving to you, Joshua, to you, Sangoma, to you, Isaiah. You are going to be the ones to inherit what I'm doing here. Okay, so that's why I feel comfortable in letting you know how I'm doing it, so you'll understand how to maintain it. And I'm passing it to you. And your responsibility is going to be to maintain it and make it bigger and pass it on to the next generation and spread it out. Okay? But don't just spread the money, spread the knowledge. Because it don't do me no good to give you a fish. I want to teach you how to fish for yourself and make your own wealth, build your own wealth, start your own businesses. Don't give up on any of that. I want you to keep adding to what you're already doing. Add this technique and this passive income technique to what you're doing. Okay? So announcements. Well, first of all, let's go through this. So what Stephen Ryan he's looking at Steve Chanos, and what you're going to see here is how Jim Chanos, how he's showing you and demonstrating to you how these people are locked into a mindset that is pure mental illness at this point. They believed in a false premise that one race is better than the other, to the point now where he's arrogant and high and mighty, and no matter he feels like if he repeats the lie that people are going to believe him. But the woman who's doing the interview here, she's clearly telling him, but you've never met Elon Musk. Have you ever talked to him on the phone? He says no. Have you ever shared a tweet with him? No. So you don't know the man. So how are you going to critique and how are you going to say that his company's going to fail and you never even spoke to him? That's arrogance. They call it hubris, is the new fancy word for it. Hubris. 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 Which means you believe you know what you really don't know. You're arrogant and you assume a lot of things and you're dead wrong. And it's going to cost you money. It's going to cost him almost half of his fortune, this stupid Jim Chanos guy, and he's dragging a lot of people who trust him with him. Okay? So here's Steve Mark Ryan, and I want to critique this as he goes through this, and you can see his perspective. Okay?
So there are frauds, and then you mentioned there are business balance sheet problems. There are things where something's very hot, like EVs. What category is Tesla in?
I think that it's really a business model and a valuation issue with Tesla. I mean, there's some things we don't like about their accounting as well. But, this is a company trading at $500 billion market cap. It'll have revenues this year of $30 billion.
Mistake number one, looking in the rear view mirror. This year, right now, yesterday, this is not how you value a growth stock. This is not how you understand a growth company. You must look forward into the future. And
my ability is to see things ahead before they come into the now. Okay? What has happened in the past, I don't pay too much attention to because Tony Seba doesn't work on the past. Only time he goes to the past is to cite mistakes that were made. That's what the past is good for. Citing mistakes, finding mistakes, and never repeating them. Improve on yourself by not repeating the mistakes, but clearly analyze where the mistakes were made. And this mistake has happened repeatedly because white supremacy is still in play. And these people repeatedly believe they're better than the guy that's trying to tell them about the next thing. They assume they're entitled to be right. Their entitlement of privilege is always even to be right. You can't be wrong because you're white. See, that arrogance, that hubris, and that's what blinds them to reality. That's why I say they're mentally ill by a false reality. And that's what a cult does to you. It brainwashes you into believing something that is not real, that has no basis in evidence. And that's what's happening here with this guy, Jim Chanos. He's looking back to the past because that's where white men could kill black people and get away with it. And they got Trump in office now, and look, he's getting away with everything. Mentally ill to think that in 2020 you can get away with something that happened back in 1865 because they don't want to let go of their privilege, their entitlement. It drives them mad, and it spills into everything that they do and think. And when they see it coming to an end, they do a Donald Trump. They panic and they sound like morons, repeating stuff, thinking that if they keep saying it, people are going to believe it. And a lot of people trust them and give them their money to be used. Okay, so that's the point. You can't, just because something the way it was in the past don't mean it's going to work for the future. And the only thing the past is good for is finding out where you made a mistake and don't repeat the same mistake again. Okay, learn from your mistakes, change all the time, be open to change. All right, so we're going to move on.
Work back from there. The fact that Tesla's building 2 factories at this point in time, Berlin and Austin, and expanding Shanghai, which will ultimately do over 1 million vehicles per year, Berlin 2 million, and who knows how many Austin will do. You kind of look at this stuff and account for that and then factor in that to what your valuation is today. That's kind of how this works. Investing is about growth in the future. You tend to buy an asset and then rather than go backwards in time, you go forwards in time while you hold that asset, right? So you should be looking forward. I mean, very easy mistake to make, but this is kind of important. See, the thing is, Tesla's growing at insane, staggering, ridiculous rates. And I also agree the valuation of Tesla stock has gotten ahead of itself. But that's because people can peer into the future and see how bright that future looks.
Now, you see what he said there? And this is what I said in my other 4 or 5 videos back. Tesla is a mind-boggling. It's growing at an ingenious rate because it's got an ingenious leader with an ingenious football field of ingenious engineers that are young, sharp, and they're forward-looking. They're not looking backwards. In fact, they don't like what they've seen in the past, and so they just about forgetting about all of that nonsense. They don't value it. Okay, and they're moving forward like a freight train. Okay, and that's why these old analysts that the news people, NB knuckleheads, and all of these other Fox News and these numbskulls and troglodytes, and they're just spreading these lies, so much lies. Lies are like a confusion fog. They cloud up everybody's vision and they create doubt to the ignorant. And the people who have not been doing their homework, who have not been reading and learning from reading and studying. You don't have to read all the time, but you certainly got to cut that TV off and stop watching them dumb behind commercials. And start going to YouTube, get on this internet and pick and choose what you're going to allow to come into these eyeballs and what goes into these ears. Pick and choose. And don't worry about being good at it in the beginning. You'll get good over time. Just never, ever give up. Keep going. Keep getting better. And I guarantee you success. All you got to do is just keep going and never give up. And you're guaranteed to succeed over time. Okay? Let's go on with what Steve's got to say here.
This is why Tesla's valuation is so high right now. And this is why so many people are fumbling the football and not understanding what they're looking at. Because they're looking at today's revenues, yesterday's revenue. They're not looking into the future, not accounting for that insane growth, and of course also just thinking they're an automaker. Back in 2014, 6 years ago, Tesla was telling us that they were aiming to deliver around 500,000 vehicles in 2020. Everyone thought that was completely and utterly ridiculous. And here we are in Q4 2020. Tesla is on track despite a global pandemic to actually deliver 500,000 vehicles. And Tesla is aiming in 2030 to deliver around 20 million vehicles per year. You kind of do need to give Tesla a little bit of credit on past execution against their past goals and think, well, if they do produce 20 million vehicles in 2030 and sell them, what does that mean for the stock price?
And despite what everyone says, they're still an automobile company. They make cars.
Okay, see? Now, Jim Chanos, he's still saying that Tesla is an automobile company, right? But then now, you got to look here at this list that Tony Seba put together. He said in 2016, he said he predicts that the key exponential technologies is going to be sensors / Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, which is what runs full self-driving and mostly all of the software that runs the Tesla car, robotics, that's what they use to build the Tesla cars, solar PV, that's one of Tesla's other businesses, Solar Roof, okay, energy storage, that's Tesla's other business, batteries, storage batteries, for grid, for home, power wall, for office buildings, power, what you call it, the power, whatever the big one is, okay? And then 3D printing, that's a whole nother area. Go look at YouTube's of 3D printing. They're printing walls and buildings now. That's how big these 3D printers are. Not these little bitty things you got in your room. These folks are building entire rooms and homes out of 3D printers that use concrete mix to print walls in layers. That's how heavy this stuff is now, folks. 3D visualizations. I talked about that in the last video. Medical, virtual reality, holograms, training devices for flight simulators, for real flight simulators, okay? Visualizations for, when you look at the planes now, you see them little graphics and whatnot on these little screens in the plane when they're using autopilot, on the plane. Well, the little visualizations, that's 3D visualization, okay? Mobile internet and cloud storage, Google, internet, updates through the Wi-Fi, internet, Tesla, okay, big data, Google, cloud, storing your data, backing up your information. Unnamed aerial vehicles, we talked about that. So all of these things, e-money, that's cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin and things like that. These are 12 things that Tony Seba talked about, okay? And I'm sorry, 11 things. These 11 things are going to be mind-boggling, okay? This is what Tony Seba talked about back in 2016, folks. This is 2020. So how could Tony Seba predict that Elon Musk is going to be making 20 million cars by 2030 and 500,000 cars? Elon Musk said it back in 2014 that he estimates that he's going to be able to make 500,000 cars by 2020, and he's done it. And fourth quarter, I guarantee you, Elon Musk is going to announce that he created 500,000 EVs at the end of 2020. Exactly what he said he was going to do 6 years ago, back in 2014, folks. These are the kind of people I want you to focus your money on, family. Sangoma, Sangtubia, family. This is our opportunity to just break even and rise with, our boats will rise with everybody else's boat, okay? That's just going to break even. But we got some more coming because they got to pay us for 300 years of free labor. We ain't done with that one. Imagine when we get that, and we're going to get that. They owe us big time. So we're going to catch up, family. We're going to catch up. I'm going to pass this baton to you guys, and I want you to fight for this like I'm fighting for it. And don't give them no quarter, and it ain't over until we get paid for what they did to our ancestors. Nobody gets away with murder. Nobody gets away with murder. And we ain't ever going to give up on that. I'm not. And I hope you don't. I hope you don't. Because I'm going to come back and I'm going to continue to kick ass when I get back. And I'm coming back. Okay? Let's go on and let's see what Steven's got here.
Him, poor guy, just can't seem to break out of his paradigm that Tesla is just a mere automaker like all of the others.
And that's another point I meant to make. A monologue there. Sorry. Tesla is not like all of the other automakers. Again, Jim Troglodyte Chanos is stuck in the Stone Age. He is trying to now convince you that Tesla is just an automaker. And I've got enough movies in the past where I'm not even going to waste your time. Go look at the movies, and I've made it very clear. Tesla is far from an automaker, and that's why they can't get the price right for the Tesla stock. Because they want to equate Tesla with Amazon, whose stock is $3,500 a share right now. Amazon wish to God they could do what Tesla does. Amazon is a shopping network. HSN, Home Shopping Network, is a fancy version of Home Shopping Network. That's why they're trying to get into selling books, and they're trying to get into now, they want to have autonomous car companies. They're trying to buy Rivian because they know. But here's the thing, folks. Even if Amazon buys Rivian, what are they going to do? They're going to build a charging network all over the world. They're going to try to catch up with Tesla with that. Good luck with that. They're going to try to what? Start making EVs, semi-tractor trailers like Tesla's doing? Pickup trucks like Tesla's doing? Are you kidding me? Storage batteries for entire power grids like Tesla is doing? They're not going to be able to make their own battery like Tesla has done. And Tesla made a battery while the other battery manufacturers been around for over 100 years. And they have never made anything beside a AA battery, a AAA battery, and it's always the same battery technology, just different size batteries. They didn't come out with no tabless battery, and they've been making batteries for 100 years. Tesla sat there and watched them for 5 years and made a totally different battery with a technology and a capacity that blows their doors off. So now Elon is leading the battery makers. Anybody that comes around him has to fall under his wing because his intelligence is devastating. And I'm telling you, folks, if you can't see this, that's why I'm here. Because it is so clear, it is so obvious that this man is on a whole nother level. And he's going to pull the rest of us up. When a lot of us have thought about doing this stuff. But now you got a guy that's doing it. You got to look at that, folks, and see that this is different. This is not like anything else you have ever seen. And I know I'm being very passionate about it. I know most people think, oh, he's so emotional. No. This is next level. And the only way, unfortunately, you get things across to people is you have to hammer. You have to use shock treatment. Because a lot of folks, not you all, a lot of folks out there are walking dead people. They have submitted themselves and succumbed to a mentality where they have subordinated all of their judgment and their better sense to somebody somewhere up in heaven somewhere, and they're in the habit of everybody else can do things but you for yourself. And that's why we call them the walking dead, zombies. Because they let everybody else make judgments for them. And even the book tells them, don't lean not to your own judgment. Oh, don't do that. God gave it to you, but don't use it. See? All you got to do is just look at it. And the same thing with this moron here, Jim Chain. Oh, well, Tesla's just a car company. What the hell are you talking about? Do you see all these batteries this man is making? Pickup trucks, tractor trailer. What car company makes a tractor trailer? The man is just demented. He's sick. You can't listen. These are Trumpies. This is that Trump. This is the age of Trump dumbness, stupidity, and mental illness. And this is going to go down in history as the stupidest, dumbest president that has ever sat in the executive seat. Okay? The dumbest and the stupidest president we have ever had. And he is a white supremacist. And that's what I have always said. White supremacists are the stupidest, dumbest people on the planet. Troglodytes. Dumb brutes. And if you want to say, oh, you shouldn't insult it, oh, you better believe I'm going to tear their behinds up. You know why? Because they're baby killers. Not babies, they kill children. They rip children from their mothers. They're dumb, filthy brutes. And when you read their Bible, you're going to see nothing but murder, slaughter, just the most vicious, brutal, hateful, judgmental things you ever want to see. And they couch it in niceness and 10 commandments and all the stuff that they stole from the Egyptians, who are the Sumerians, okay? Who were the Cushites? Who were the Memphites? Africans, okay? Sorry, didn't mean to segue. But it's all connected, folks. You can't pretend. Isaiah, I'm not going to allow you to pretend that this stuff is not connected. There's nothing wrong with black people. All of this insanity happened to us. And it didn't just happen to black people. What they just laid down on black people was just the more perfected version of what they did with the Catholic Church and what they have done to white people all over the planet. Brainwash these poor people to the point where they actually believe they're better than somebody else, because they get these entitlement and these privileges, special privileges. They bribe them into mental illness. And I'm not going to allow you, Isaiah. I'm not going to allow that. I want you to look at it. I want you to see it, because I want you to destroy it. I want you to stop thinking like that. And I want you to think that white people are bad or white people are better than you because they're white. They're not bad, but they're certainly not better than you. It has nothing to do with the color of their skin. It don't matter. Skin color don't matter. That's the point. And I certainly don't buy into any subjugation, and don't turn over your judgment to nobody up in the sky somewhere. You be responsible for everything that happens to you, and you start out by educating and enlightening yourself with wisdom, data, and facts, like what Stephen Mark Ryan is giving you. Okay? It's about knowledge, wisdom, and facts. Okay?
And so they're competing with other companies that make cars.
Mm-hmm. Yep, just like Amazon is competing with other retail outlets. Just they're totally the same thing, yeah. Never mind the fact that Tesla has never spent a cent on advertising because their products are so good they sell themselves.
Now, I want you to listen to what Stephen Mark Ryan does here. He's gonna do the best job. And Stephen Mark Ryan is not an analyst. Stephen Mark Ryan is a graphic design artist. What do you know? Oh, where have I heard? Oh, that's right. I'm a graphic design artist and a photographer. Oh, that's right. I wonder how is it that there's just this coincidence? Okay? But Stephen Mark Ryan does the best job of articulating and chronologically breaking down and detailing the depth of Tesla and all of the nuances of the Tesla strategy and the Tesla ethos that has allowed them to do groundbreaking, mind-boggling, devastating vertical integration and progressive invention that have allowed them to create things on a level you have to see it to believe it. And I have been watching it for the last 2.5, 3 years now that they started actually making cars. But the level of innovation is mind-boggling. And you got to remember, the same guy that is the CEO of Tesla is the CEO of SpaceX. So what you're looking at a conversion of all of the innovation. And this is why the other car companies are never going to be able to compete with Tesla, folks. Tesla has SpaceX engineers bringing their technology and all of their discoveries into the automobile industry, folks. You got to understand what's happening here. This thing is so big that this is why I get excited, because I know you've never seen anything like this. But I got to connect these dots, and that's why I did this what do you call it here for you? I did this slide that's showing you Elon Musk right here with all of these different companies. He's got 12. 8 that are Tesla, and the last 4, Boring Company, which they're going to be doing transportation tunnels all underground. Nobody's ever done that before, other than subways in New York, and an occasional tunnel here and a tunnel there. No. This is highways under the ground. We're talking next level here. That's what Elon Musk is taking us. Okay, he owns the Boring Company. Okay, SpaceX, all of the technology and things that they learn from boring under the ground and sending up rockets up to the moon and space station and all that stuff, and Mars. Nobody's gone there either. It's just so, please, it's just ridiculous. It's so big, it's ridiculous. And then we got Starlink and Neuralink, where they're going to be putting implants in your head and healing people who are quadriplegics. One guy. Okay? One guy. And he didn't invent these things. He heard about them. Like I heard about Tony Seba. I read about him. He probably read Tony Seba's book. He heard about Neuralink, a company that was doing something avant-garde and next level, and he picked it up. Elon didn't invent these ideas. He saw other people coming up with these ideas, and he picked that one, and he picked that one, and he picked that one. But everybody is coming up with ideas. I don't want y'all to get a messiah complex about Elon Musk. What I want you to learn is how he's learning, how I'm learning. I want you to learn how to learn. It's like he said, he said it's more important to learn how to make the machine that makes the machine. Okay, this is exponential learning. And you can do this because the same spirit that is coming through me is the same spirit that's coming through you. I don't care what color you are. Color doesn't matter. Color doesn't matter. This is one of the biggest stumbling blocks of studying black history. I don't want you to become a black supremacist. That's not what this is about. This is about bringing balance. This is not about swinging the pendulum to the other side and become a black supremacist and a barbarian. Like you go to Africa, go to Congo, go see what's going on in there. You can't blame that on no colonization. Colonization's been over for a long time, folks. And the internet is here. So the people that are leading, they have access to the internet and have had it for the last 10, 15, 20 years. Come on now. Got to call it like we see it. Okay, let's move on here.
And so they're competing with other companies that make cars.
Mm-hmm. Yep, just like Amazon is competing with other retail outlets. They're totally the same thing, yeah. Never mind the fact that Tesla has never spent a cent on advertising because their products are so good they sell themselves. Never mind that other automakers are now recognizing that they need to catch up to Tesla and spend tens of billions of dollars in doing so. Never mind the fact that there's 150-odd thousand people subscribed to this channel to watch a guy who's high half the time talk about Tesla. Where's the VW equivalent of solving the money problem? Or the Ford version? Or the VW version? Or the GM version? Spoiler alert, there isn't one because they're not really worth talking about. That alone is actually a really important data point. There's no shame in being wrong, Jim. I mean, just have a look around. Like the box that you've put Tesla in, you may not have noticed, but they don't fit in that box. And the longer you seem to be living in this delusion that Tesla is just a mere automaker like everybody else, the more pain you're going to experience being short Tesla stock. I'm just saying.
And increasingly, those other companies have EVs as well.
That nobody actually wants to buy because they suck shit. Shout out to everybody who still uses Yahoo for search or Bing.
And so, Tesla, every bull market has a stock that people pin their hopes and dreams on. Back in the .com era, it was Cisco and Yahoo and a few others, JDSU. And certainly one of those stocks this go around is Tesla, because for some holders it's an EV company, for other holders it's a clean energy company, for other holders it's an autonomous vehicle company.
And for Jim Chanos here, it's just a car company, right, Jim?
and it's whatever people want to believe that Elon Musk is touting.
So remember that time that Elon Musk touted that SpaceX were attempting to develop reusable rockets? Jim, you still with me, mate? You remember when that yeah? And you remember how Tesla, that secret master plan in 2006, where they laid out their plan? They touted that they would start with a high-end luxury EV, use the profits from that to actually develop a more mass-market vehicle. You remember when Elon Musk touted that? Remember when Elon Musk touted that they were equipping all their vehicles with enough sensors, the full suite, so that in the future when they solved the software problem, they could enable full self-driving over the air? Remember when Elon Musk touted that, and now full self-driving beta is being expanded and we're very close to a wide release throughout the network, probably sometime next year? Remember when Elon Musk touted that Tesla would need to build this gigafactory because, you know, they would be building lots of vehicles in the future? Remember when Elon Musk touted at Battery Investor Day their plans to bring their battery costs down? You guys see where I'm going with this? Yeah. Remember when Elon Musk touted that their goal with the Model S was to develop the world's best car, and then it won every award ever and actually is the best car ever built? Do you remember that, Jim? Yeah, just maybe factor that in to your future considerations about what Tesla is. Just saying.
Okay. And again, that is what conservatism is in a nutshell. Troglodytes always want to go backwards, which the evolutionary process never goes backwards. Evolution only moves in one direction, forward, never backwards. Okay? And that's why the Confederate GOP conservatives, Republicans, they're going to fail because they're going against the forward motion of evolution. And one of the big debates they support to the death, they will kill people if you don't believe this, that man was created 6,000 years ago in the Garden of Eden, and man took a piece of his rib out, and a woman was made from a rib of a man. Stupid shit. Retarded fairy tale nonsense. They call it the creation story. So they created a lie. And that's what this moron is doing. He keeps wanting to go back to that symbolically. He's not talking about going back to that. But it's still the concept of always look backwards to where women came from men, not men came from women, which is nature. No, they're going to defy nature even now. They're mad at nature because nature made them white. They're mad at God because God made them white. God did it. Not just as a freak of two family, or what they call crossbreeding into family interbreeding, and your family lines are too close and you need to go find somebody over there that's different from yours so you don't have albinos that get caught in the ice and all that. I'm not going to. Anyway, so let's move on.
Made any money selling cars. The trailing 12 months, whatever profit they've shown, it's been very, very low, has been from selling tax credits.
Lie. Again. Tax credits have nothing to do with Elon Musk and the Tesla's profits. A lie. And I want to show you something. Look how he sits there so calmly, and he think if he says it, like it's so diplomatic. Yeah, they're everything they've gotten. So he's rattling off lies so fast that, and listen, he's got these lies lined up. It's a script. They've been playing this script for the last 500, 600, 700 years. They got it so down. So don't be fooled by their script and how very diplomatically he can talk with a straight face and repeat the lie over and over and over because it's a script. Okay? Don't be fooled by that. He's a liar. And you can't believe nothing he says because his mouth is moving. And then when you go to jury duty, a judge is going to instruct you. If somebody, you get some testimony that you have to consider for making your judgment of whether somebody's guilty or innocent of a crime, if the person that makes the testimony, you catch them in one lie, a major lie that goes beyond reasonable doubt, you have to throw out their entire testimony. And that's why I say you take that Bible and you throw it in the garbage, because there's some lies in there that go way beyond reasonable doubt. Okay? And when you go to jury duty, you're going to see it. I know, because I was a foreman of a jury twice. Okay? And when you do that, you are in charge of making sure that the whole jury makes their mind up, and you're going to be the spokesman. And that's what I did twice. Okay? So when you do that, you're going to see. And that has been the strategy that I use, the criteria I use to make my judgments about people and books that lie. Catch you in one lie? Okay. Catch you in a whole bunch of lies? I throw the whole book out. And I'm telling you, do this thing. Take that Bible and throw it in the garbage. Get you spirituality before religion. And don't follow that verbatim. Take out of that what you need and put it on the side. Because a lot of that analysis is irrelevant for today. Okay? Okay, let's move on.
So for all of this, for all of their market leadership and selling $50,000 on average cars, they're still not making any money doing it.
Oh, I see. The regulatory credit thingy.
You believe this? Now, I'm about to use profanity, folks. You see how he look you straight in the face, he start twisting the chair like Trump. When Trump starts lying, look at his body motion. You see the shoulders start to twist. That's how you know a liar. They start that. That's what we call a retard. A person who's was it autism. They have like these little body tics. They call it a tick or a twitch. And they start this when they're lying. They start that. Okay. The man is a pathological liar, and that's why he's losing all of his money. And I predict this. You're going to see all of them go down. But when they go down, they have three sides: genocide, homicide, and suicide. That means they will begin to become what you call, they're going to strap on bombs, and they're going to start going in, they're going to become what they call those bombers. Those I forget what they call them. It's a special kind of bomber. And they strap on vests and they go in there and blow up whole stores and stuff. That's what you're going to see with these Confederate GOP Republicans. Watch. They're going to do this. The first thing they do is homicide. They'll shoot up an entire school. They'll go shoot up a mall area. They'll go shoot up a movie theater. They'll shoot up a concert. Because they can't get their way. Okay? And when all else fails, they'll strap a bomb on themselves and go and drive a truck full of stuff. But now the government's watching that stuff, so they can't do it like they used to. So they're going to find other ways. And they're going to strap bombs on themselves. And they're going to go in there and become suicide bombers. Watch. Let's move on.
And that the traditional rules of valuation do not apply to it. I would just point out, as I always do, that for the trailing 12 months...
Jim Chanos, you are killing me, dude. Rearview mirror once again, trailing 12 months. Why are we looking backwards and using that as a way to reason forward instead of looking at things like production capacity, expansion of facilities, how quickly they ramp production, these kind of things, declining manufacturing costs, declining battery costs? Do you not sort of like think that it matters kind of to look forward instead of backwards, Jim? I mean, Jim? Hello? Jim?
Tesla has not made any money selling cars. Of the trailing 12 months, whatever profit they've shown, and it's been very, very low, has been from selling tax credits. So for all of this, for all of their market leadership and selling $50,000 on average cars, they're still not making any money doing it.
Oh, I see. The regulatory credits thing again. Yeah, good point, Jim. That's a really good point. I've never dismissed that before for being completely patently absurd. I'm not even going to cover it at this point in time. I've said it 400 times. Let's approach this from a slightly different angle. I'm not going to be too dismissive of how stupid it was to raise in the first point, capital management, money in, money out. Oh, hang on, we've got all this money in, let's spend that on a gigafactory. No. Let's approach this from a slightly different angle. Why would it be that automakers are willing to pay Tesla literally billions of dollars, a competitor, using the term loosely, competitor there? Why would these companies be paying Tesla billions of dollars? Now, think about that for a moment. The only reason that these companies would be paying Tesla billions of dollars is because they're either unwilling or unable to make electric vehicles that people actually want to buy at a scale large enough to avoid these enormous fines. That should actually tell you a huge amount about Tesla's future runway, given the fact that they need to be making EVs and these companies literally can't or won't, therefore need to pay Tesla billions of dollars to eventually put them out of business.
Have you ever met Elon Musk or talked to him?
I've never met Elon Musk.
Have you ever had a conversation with him or even a tweet firestorm with him?
I don't know about a tweet firestorm, but no, I've never had a conversation with him.
Well, what do you know? Another Tesla short who's never even had a conversation with Elon Musk. Why am I not surprised?
What would you say to him if you do get to meet him?
I'd say job well done so far.
Going back to that idea, people project whatever they want onto the company. You announced your Tesla short back in the fall of 2015. So this has been, a 5-year saga. And all your shorts, I remember you're saying, are capped at 5%. Are you still max short on Tesla?
No, we're not max short, only because but we are still short. But there's now so many other things to do, including in the EV space, that we found lots of other things that are maybe even crazier than Tesla.
Oh, would you look at that? A happy ending. I think Jim is actually on the right track here, although reducing that Tesla short position, pro tip Jim, just can it completely. There's definitely some good short potential in the wider EV space. Now, I'm not going to name names here, but let's be honest. There's a whole bunch of absolute moronic money at the moment in the stock market chasing after the gains. People feel like they missed out on Tesla. Oh, it's too late for Tesla. What's the next EV company? Hang on, let me read a headline somewhere. Okay, I'm going to invest in that company because I'm a genius investor. So yeah, anyway, I think the moral of the story here is Jim hasn't quite learned his lesson, but even so, he may have a shot at recouping the catastrophic losses sustained in shorting Tesla by shorting some of these other EV players. But Jim, please learn your lesson. As my merch says, don't bet against Elon. It's never going to end well. I'm Stephen Mark Ryan. This is Solving the Money Problem, and I love you all. I name names here, but let's be honest. There's a whole bunch of absolute moronic money at the moment in the stock market chasing after the gains. People feel like they missed out on Tesla. Oh, it's too late for Tesla. What's the next EV company? Hang on, let me read a headline somewhere. Okay, I'm going to invest in that company because I'm a genius investor. So yeah, anyway, I think the moral of the story here is Jim hasn't quite learned his lesson, but even so, he may have a shot at recouping the catastrophic losses sustained in shorting Tesla by shorting some of these other EV players. But Jim, please learn your lesson. As my merch says, don't bet against Elon. It's never going to end well. I'm Stephen Mark Ryan. This is Solving the Money Problem, and I love you all. And don't...
Okay, so there you have it, folks. Stephen is I really enjoy watching Stephen Ryan stuff because his sense of humor and it's just the way he looks at things is just so in sync with the way I see things. If you notice, he's a little calmer about the way he expresses his frustration because his experience in life has been different from mine. I've been fighting white supremacy all my life, and when I say fighting, I mean I've been critiquing it, and my job is to point it out to my grandkids and so they can understand. And I know my passion and my enthusiasm sometimes is a little scary to them because they're not used to being around people who really give a damn, and people who have like a broad view and a long a legacy of dealing with the insanity of white supremacy. So it scares them because most people duck, run, and hide from white supremacy because they're so overwhelmed by the sophistication of it. And they actually, again, people see big, rich, wealthy operations and, oh, they're so impressed. I'm not. I work for the military. I can show you a big operation. And when you're used to dealing big, then these kind of morons with their fancy talk and all of their big words and whatnot, and their calm demeanor while they lie, don't impress me at all. I've worked around these people. I've been a leader in leadership position in meetings next to these people when they do their stuff, and I'm not impressed at all. Okay, so I wanted to bring this video to your attention so you can see more confirmation about how Tony Seba was absolutely right. Okay, and again, the thing I wanted to bring to your attention that's most pivotal about Tesla and Elon Musk is, unlike any CEO that you'll probably see in the very near future, other than people like Jeff Bezos. He's one of those people. He does absolutely do what he say and say what he means. Okay. Then you have people that I'm trying to think who else is in that same category with him. We may find that Joe Biden, the president, he may actually turn out to do something like what Elon Musk is doing if he gets behind people like Elon and Jeff. You have the guy in Facebook also. He's another one. You have also and then we have ours. We have our Oprah Winfrey. We have our Tyler Perry. Okay, these are people I think that are in key positions that'll be able to. They just quietly do what they have to do. The only problem with them is they're couched in, you know, a bogus religion that is misleading our people, and it's gonna cause us to have to climb out from under another lie, you know, another layer of lie, and we don't have time for this, folks. That's why Isaiah, I want you to totally reject that religion, because you're going to be wasting so much precious time coming out from underneath a lie, and the energy you're going to expend mentally is going to be such a total waste of time when you could be focusing on this and being free and learning how to live free. 'Cause learning how to live free in America is what can I say? It's I don't know what the word is for it. It's something that is not easy to do, because you're surrounded by people who are all buck dancing and coping and ducking and hiding behind all kinds of phony, fake personalities and traits that are just ridiculous, and it causes them to contort and twist and bend into so many different abnormal, dysfunctional behaviors that I don't want you to get lost in that. And I talk to you all the time, and you are so pure and so good, and I don't want you to lose that. Sangoma, you are a leader. You have to lead. You lead by what you continue to do, what you're doing. You don't have to do anything more than what you've been doing. But just don't be afraid to step out front from behind that camera, because the young people need to see you. See, they need to see what normal looks like. Don't hide. You got the skills. At some point, you're going to have to step out. Do it when you're ready. I trust your judgment. But don't hide, because the young people are looking for normal leaders. They don't need all these rappers, all of these half-talking, uneducated, inarticulate rappers doing all this slick talking, all this nonsense. That's not what we need. We need articulate, normal people Not, kind of like what Cosby was trying to do, but that's close enough. He did the best he could do, you know. He came up in the time he came up in, but we need you. We need the young people. We need Isaiah to be you. Fight for what you are. Fight for the righteousness and the goodness that you are. Because the young people, they need to see you. They are lost right now. They don't see anybody that they can really relate to. And all these phony rappers that are masquerading as leaders, these are not leaders. We don't have no time for that. We need articulate people like Common. Look at the Common. How articulate and intelligent that young brother is. But look, young man. I ain't no brother. He's a young man. He is my brother, but he's a young man. But he's not on the front line. They don't put the mic in front of him. They put it in front of that stupid moron. What's that idiot? Kanye West. And that other moron. What's his name? That little boy. What's his name? Smelly little guy. Can't think of his name. Wild, crazy bastard. Lil Wayne. Yeah, Lil Wayne. That loser. I mean, please. That ain't no leader. That's not something nobody should imitate, that filthy dude. He is so corrupt and so jacked up. He is a waste of time. Now, you know who they need to look up to, and I wish they hadn't killed him, was Tupac Shakur. That young brother was somebody. I ain't had no time. I love Biggie's rapping style. He was really brilliant as an artist, but he wasn't about nothing. Tupac was about something. Listen to his music. He is listen to his YouTubes. He is articulating struggle and people getting up off their backside and making these rich people cut the crap. Tupac was about something. Articulate. He was about something. Okay? Anyway, so I wanted to bring to your attention that the Tesla stock hit $599, which is as close to 600 as you can get. So you might as well say 600 today for the first time. It officially makes the market cap for Tesla over $500 billion at as what Jim Chano said. One thing he did say that was right. Okay. And they're predicting that Tesla, as I mentioned before, Tesla started out at $75 billion at this time last year in 2019 was $75 billion. Now they're over $500 billion in 1 year's time. So if you look at the trajectory and you calculate that out into the future, they're saying by 2023, 2025, Tesla is going to be the largest company in the world, folks. It's going to make Amazon look like a hors d'oeuvre compared to a Subway sandwich that Elon Musk is going to be with Tesla. That's why I'm telling you folks, get your money together. Stephen Mark Ryan will tell you in a heartbeat. He puts every penny that he has into Tesla. Every spare cent that he has into Tesla. Because in about two more years, by 2022, it's going to be game over. The doubt, by the end of 2021, when full self-driving is fully implemented by December this time, as I said in the last movie, by 2021, when that hits, all the doubt is going to be removed. And they're already predicting, and they predicted that in another movie he had there, that Tesla was going to have a million. They said they think Tesla's going to have 2 million cars by the end of 2022. I think that'll be true, but it'll be over 2 million cars by 2022. Because look at it this way, folks. The Shanghai factory producing Model Ys just start producing Model Ys at the end of this year. And they produced 500,000 cars, okay, from California, Shanghai. Yeah, that's all they got. California and Shanghai. Those are the only two factories producing right now. Okay, so imagine when they get, well, and Shanghai has two parts. It has California, you have Shanghai. So it's really between the two of them that they're producing like 500,000 cars. Okay. When the other half of Shanghai comes online full ball, which will be like third quarter or by March of next year, they'll start producing full ball. So that side of the factory is going to produce probably another 250 to 300,000 cars. Okay. So if you look at it, that's not even including what do you call it, Austin, Texas, which is going to be the juggernaut of factories. Berlin is going to be cute in Germany. But I predict that Austin, Texas Tesla factory is going to become the flagship of Tesla. And Elon Musk has already announced today that he's moving from California to Austin, Texas. Now, Elon Musk is not going to move to Austin, Texas just because he likes the weather. He's doing it for a reason. He's going to make Austin, Texas is going to be the flagship corporate headquarters for Tesla. He's going to ultimately wind up moving from California because of all of the restrictions. He's going to wind up moving the flagship headquarters. The factory is going to still stay there, but the headquarters part is going to move to Austin, where it's going to be bigger. It's going to be the biggest factory in the world until they build the next biggest factory in the world, which is going to be in China. I almost can guarantee you that. That's where the next big one's going to be. When he does that, I predict Tesla's going to be producing closer to 5,000 cars. 5 million cars by 2023 to 2020, mid 2024. And Tony Seba predicted, and what you have not seen is that they're predicting that Tesla is going to barely be able to make. Goldman Sachs had posted, let me see if I can bring that up, that they're saying that this was in another movie that Stephen Ryan produced, where he said that they believed that Tesla was only going to be able to produce, let me see how many cars they're saying. It's laughable. Tony Seba, they were saying that that they believe by 2035 that they believe that electric vehicles are going to make up 50% of automotive cars in the world. And Tony Seba predicts that by 2025, 2026, 2027, every single car that is sold is going to be an EV by 2026, 2027. And that would be like 80, 90%, 95% of all cars sold will be EVs. To show you how far behind these people are, Goldman Sachs is still predicting that by 2035, they have up here, they say that we are raising our outlook for EV adoption and now expect EVs to comprise 18% of sales globally in 2030. 18%, folks. Do you see how backwards and retarded these people are? They are insane. Tony Seba has never been wrong. Tony Seba said by 2030, every car sold. They're saying that only 18% of the cars sold are going to be electric EVs. Goldman Sachs, the top investment firm in the world, they said that they predict that the EVs will only be 18% of cars sold by 2030. Folks, do you see how twisted these people are? Let me flip that and say it the other way to you. This is why you got to get your money into Tesla. Because as long as they're putting things like out this into the ethos and everybody else is going to go with whatever Goldman Sachs says, that gives you time to buy your stock and get into position. Because by the time these morons wake up, it's going to be 2025. So you got 5 years. Okay, let's not go crazy. 3 years. You got 3 years, family, to get your money into this Tesla stock. Because these morons, they think that by 2030, they still have some hope that they're going to be able to sell gas-powered cars. Oh, they are sadly mistaken, family. They are going to be so wrong. It's painful. And I really feel sorry for them. They are buying into the Trumpism. These people have lost their minds. They don't see this coming, family. And you do. I do. And I'm telling you, Tony Seba has never been wrong. And in fact, he's always been under predicting. Things have happened faster than what he said. And he predict by 2030 that 80 to 90% of the cars would be all EVs, or 100%. He said by 2030. He said by 2025, it's going to be 80 to 90% of the cars are going to be EVs. By 2025, folks. Goldman Sachs says it'll be 18% of the cars sold globally will be EVs. Goldman Sachs is out of their minds. They are dead wrong. All of the facts, all of the data, all the statistics are pointing to by 2030, every single car sold will be an EV. Nobody in their right mind would want a gas-powered car with 2,000 breakable parts. Nobody in their right mind would be able to afford a gas-powered car compared to an EV that has no maintenance at all. Just think about that, folks. Why would anybody in their right mind buy a car that is filled with maintenance and expense, as opposed to a $25,000 car that has zero maintenance other than brakes and windshield wiper blades? Come on, folks. Just think about it. Writing is on the wall. Okay? And I could read the rest of this to you, but it's just absolute folly and stupidity on top of more stupidity and more folly. So I'm not gonna waste your time with that. Okay? And I told you about the GM brands and whatnot. Okay. Mentioned that and Stephen Mark Ryan mentioned Tony Seba. So the point I was making is that Tony Seba is behind Tasha Heaney. I believe Tasha Heaney has read Tony Seba's book 5 years ago, and that's why she was able to predict, and she used this same list that Tony Seba put out with these 4 major things, as well as this list here that he put out. He did put out that thing about the cost curve. I gotta download the new thing for you guys. Okay, this list where the key exponential technologies, the 11 items on this list that Tony Seba put out. I believe that Tasha Heaney went by this list, and she gave that information to Kathy Wood of ARK Invest. And that's how Kathy Wood and ARK Invest jumped the gun on all of the other investment firms. Women, open their mind to the future. And Tony Seba has been on the frontier of all of this, all of the prediction of this innovation. Tony Seba's not doing it. He's looking at all the industries that are coming up all over the world, and what do you call it? Kathy Wood of ArkInvest, what she talks about is this big data. They're talking about the Genome Project, where they have officially mapped the genomics and the gene pool of the genes, and they've developed systems of being able to map genes, and that's the beginning of genetic medical improvements of people, genetic almost not cloning, but it's a way of looking at the chemistry of the mother and of the father and of the child that may have cerebral palsy or whatever it is, and they can do gene splicing and go in and fix the warped genes because they have mapped the genome of the human body. Okay, and once you've done that, then you can fix things. You can make right things that are wrong because you've mapped it and you know what right looks like, so you know what wrong looks like, and you can fix it. So that's where that is pivotal to helping with medical corrective, gene corrective surgery. Okay, and then they will put those genes back into the body and they would replicate. Okay, so that's what they're working on. And Kathy Wood and ArkInvest, they're investing in companies that are on the frontier of this stuff. But again, it's Tony Seba's list that everybody is going by right now. This may not last forever, but he's the man of the century, of the 21st century. There's always one of these pivotal people that the universe brings to move the entire human race up. The humanity that brings humanity up. And when humanity go up, the dogs come up, and every other animated creature that is below on the hierarchy of intelligence. This is not about race. This is about intelligence. Okay? And it can come from any race. So don't let the skin color fool you. We got to get rid of that. It was a lie from the beginning of the Bible, and it's a lie now in white supremacy. And we got to get rid of it, family. Okay? Let me make sure I cover all the bases. One of the key things I wanted to say to you, and I want to talk about this $780 prediction by Goldman Sachs. I predict that that's going to happen by June of next year. We'll be at $780 a share, if not before that. Because I got a feeling after first quarter, January, February, March, April, they usually do report financials of the first quarter for Tesla, and first and second quarter are usually pretty bad. But I got a feeling this year it's going to be good for Tesla. They're going to break the trend that they had in the past 4 years. They're going to have a profitable first quarter and second quarter, and that's going to be groundbreaking. They've never been able to do that before, and that's going to shoot the stock up over $700, $800 a share. Okay, family? So buckle up, start loading up on your Tesla stocks, and don't say I didn't tell you. Okay? And it's going to happen. Okay, and again, when you're investing in stocks, because I'm passionate and because I'm enthusiastic, investing in stocks is not about emotion. I'm enthusiastic and happy because the opportunity here is so solid that I don't have any doubt. There's no doubt about it here. This is solid information. Okay? This is actually going to happen. There's no doubt about it. Okay? And when you see, again, a guy who lands rockets on moving barges, okay, and the rocket still lands standing up and moves with the barge, that's next level, folks. That's next level. He's got some engineers working behind him that are truly next level. Okay, family? So That's something I wanted to point out to you. And it's not about emotion. It's about what I know. Okay? And that's why I want to make this correlation for you, and because I discovered this today, and I was so excited to realize this realization came to me that, wow, look, Tony Seba has influenced Tasha Heaney. He has influenced Stephen Mark Ryan. And Tasha Heaney has gone to her boss, which is Kathy Wood, and Kathy Wood start articulating the same view, but she's getting it from Tony Seba, folks. We've got to give Tony Seba the credit. And that's what we've got to start doing. We've got to start honoring and valuing the true stars of the future for a cleaner, greener, and brighter, more sophisticated on a level that you have never seen before. Poverty can end. We can end poverty. There is no reason to have homeless, mentally ill people sleeping out on the street, folks. There's no reason for that. We got to clean up our acts. We're ready to go to the next level, family. We are learning to accept the diversity both on all levels of all people. Okay? We have got to learn, and the first thing we got to do is we got to tame the flesh. We've got to tame the dumb brutes. We got to tame that Confederate white supremacist GOP party. We've got to tame them. We got to put them back under the rock, and they must stay under tight, strict control because they're dangerous. And unfortunately, a lot of people are going to have to die before you all get it. But I'm warning you now, and I'm putting it out there. This is December of 2020. The filthy thing has been defeated last month. He's going to be kicked out of the office on the 20th of January, and they are going to go on a war path, and they're going to be murdering people left and right. They got three sides. Genocide, they did that with the virus. They're letting hundreds of thousands of people die. That's genocide. Next comes homicide. They got three sides. Second side is homicide. And after that, they're going to start doing suicide bombing. That's the last side. And that's what they're going to do. And it's not because they're white they're doing it. It's because they're dumb brutes. That's what dumb brutes do. Anybody dumb brute can do it. They could be black dumb brute. They could be Spanish dumb brute. They could be Arab dumb brutes. Don't be fooled by color, folks. Don't let that cloud your vision. Dumb brute is what we got to tame. And the first dumb brute that you got to tame is yourself. Your flesh. This vehicle that you riding around in, this thing here, dumb brute. It's like a dog. You have to train your pet. And the first thing you got to train is the emotional state of your pet. Okay? You have to get that under control. All right? And it's going to take work. It's going to take work. And we're just getting started. Okay? A lot of us are on a certain level, but a lot of us, we're just getting started. So don't be too hard on yourself. We may not be able to get a whole lot done in this one lifetime. But you got unlimited number of lifetimes coming. Okay? So don't try to do it all at once. But the main thing I want you to do is enjoy your life. Spend some time working. You have to do your politics. You have to do your social work. We have to get into orphanages and save as many children. The children are the top priority. Old folks that are hard-headed, stiff-necked, don't want to change, don't want to bring nothing to the game, let's keep them as comfortable as possible and let them pass on. Okay? But the priority is the young people, the children. That's where you put your focus, and you focus all your energy in training our young people. That's what it's about. Okay? And I had a note here I wanted to bring about this guy, Jim Chano, said something stupid about some competition. There is no competition for Tesla. None at all. And there won't be any. There will be other automakers that will be in in China and in Korea. That's where the big competition is going to come. Germany, I really do believe Volkswagen is going to survive. I really do. They'll work out whatever problems, and hopefully they'll work it out. If not, they're going to go down with the rest of them. Because let me tell you, nobody's going to want a car with gas power. Nobody's going to want it. With all those parts, nobody's going to want it. I wouldn't touch one. And I've been in automotive for over 20-something years, and I wouldn't touch a car that is not all electric. Just like when I got into photography, I wouldn't touch a camera. I had cameras from when I started in photography, but when I decided to go in it as a business, there's no way that I would use film. It's too expensive. Too many parts. So much can go wrong. Why bother? I can use Photoshop and make it exactly in any way I want and only print out the best. Just what I need, nothing extra. Okay? Let me see what else I got to talk to you about. Yeah, I pointed that out in the last video, that all of the stocks that I basically have in my portfolio they are based on Tony Seba's projections. All of my stocks are based on Tony Seba's projection, and including the cannabis stock. Because why? Because I can see clearly that the writing is on the wall for cannabis, as far as the medicinal purposes of it, and the recreational purposes of it, and the decriminalization purposes of it. Once you decriminalize it, all of those cases that were flooding the courts and wasting the court calendar are all going to be removed. The jails that have people in there for marijuana possession and sales are all going to be removed. The legalization of marijuana on a federal level with Biden in order to get that tax money is almost guaranteed. It's not a hope. It's just an educated guess based on science and facts. That in the history of tax revenues and strategies, of political strategies and socio-political strategies of gaining revenue, it's almost as plain as the the paint on these walls. It's so plain. Okay, so it's not a guess, it's not a hope, it's science. It's it's fact. Okay, and that's what's going to happen, and that's a part of what Tony Seba has predicted. He says it's going to come from outside in the ways you would never have believed. And that's what's going to happen. And that's going to happen with the legalization of cannabis. Okay? And I talked to you about the Tesla's growth in market cap. And I predict by the end of 2021, Tesla, at the rate Tesla's growing, if they went from 75 billion with just two factories, China and California, if they went from 75 billion to almost 600 billion in market cap, what do you think is going to happen when when two more factories come on? And if they double this, there'll be $1 trillion company by the end of next year. Family, $1 trillion. And that means the stock is going to have to double from where it is right now. And the stock just hit $600 a share today. So twice $600 a share is going to be $1,200 by December of next year. Maybe. I think it's going to get there by June of next year. May of next year. $1,200 a share. Tesla. I predict that. By the end of the year, it'll be closer to $3,000 a share. Watch. 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 You're not going to believe this because you got to remember, you got two factories coming online. Cybertruck is coming out. Semi-truck is coming out. Roadster is coming out. 2023, $25,000 Tesla is coming out, folks. The price of Model Y going down. Price of Model 3 going down. Price of Model S going down. Price of Model X going down. Cybertruck is coming out. Price is going to go down. It's just devastating. Devastating. And you will see. Okay, family? I think that about did it. I think I covered pretty much everything that I wanted to talk with you about. Yep. Right. Okay, I covered that. Oh, I never downloaded the new slide. Okay. I'll cover the new slide in the next movie. Anyway, family, I hope you found it informative. I enjoy the movie. Watch it in pieces. Don't try to watch this movie all at once. And I hope you've have been given a little more meat on the bones about Tesla. And you can see what I mean when I tell you that Tony Seba is the man of the year. Elon Musk is brilliant, but Tony Seba called it, and you got to give him credit for what he did. He's the Orson Welles of the 21st century as it relates to energy usage, transportation, housing. If you listen to his, I asked you to go on, and I'm gonna try to put a link in my thing to his movie, to his YouTube movies, where he breaks it down to your family, and you are gonna see and I implore you, listen to it a couple times, and because he's coming at you with a lot of stuff, but Tony Seba is unbelievable. Elon Musk, unbelievable. Then on the Bantu Morpheus side, you got a couple other things there with what's his name? Philippe Matthews and Kaba Kameni. Jeremiah Kamara, and I want to give him honorable mention here. I forgot to mention his name. I'll bring his photo up for you so you can see Jeremiah Kamara. His analysis of the Bible and explanation, and his critique, and the evidence, the overwhelming, comprehensive, deep dive that he does into breaking down the fallacies and the lies and the phoniness of that Bible is groundbreaking, mind-boggling, and you will leave finally free of the terror of what they do to people in buying into that cult and that mentality and mental madness and insanity that is coming out of that filthy Bible. That thing has to be thrown in the garbage. What it is mentally doing to good people is a crime, and people should be locked up for perpetuating that megalomaniacal mental illness that is coming out of that filthy Bible. And once you wake up to it, you're going to know what I mean, and you're going to see how diabolical that Bible really is. And it seems so nice, and it has such nice words, but trust me, when you peel back and you see the filth and it's just unbelievable. And I want you to be free from that. And it's criminal what they do to you, and I'm not cutting any corners, and I'm not trying to be nice. My children, my grandchildren, their lives are on the line here. I don't have time to be nice about that. Y'all can play and do what you want with your children, but you see that beautiful boy there and my grandchild and my granddaughter? Oh no. And I got another grandson coming up that I haven't even gotten to know yet. Oh hell no. It's not going down. You're not getting them that filthy Bible. You ain't getting none of my grandkids. The rest of y'all want to go down that rabbit hole and live those lies and perpetuate that cult and drink that Kool-Aid. They ain't getting none of my grands. That's fact. Okay, family? Be well, one love, and I'll see you in the next movie.